Hello, hello. I'm Casey,
And I'm Val.
and this is Render the Darkness. Could have done that together because this is going to be an unusual case. We are going to be alternating our storytelling in this one. You're going to get us both. So, I mean, I technically get us both in every video, but we're going to both be talking. That was my Fallon impression.
They would both already be talking.
It's a spot on Fallon impression.
I would hope so.
Okay, so this case it's a little different. I don't even know if we would call this a case per se, so much as just like a little bonus episode. So Fallon and I recently took a trip to the hot springs, Arkansas, because she had
Springs of the Hot.
springs of the hot and saw. Um, and we just, that place has an incredible history, incredible architecture. It's just a really awesome place to go and be, and I hope to retire there one day, maybe. Um, Because we liked it so much, we just thought we would do a quick clip of some of our favorite places that we visited and give you just like a brief history on a few of those places. And also, because we are a true crime paranormal podcast, we're going to throw in a little bit of the ghost stories that may be attached to some of these places.
Ghosties.
And for the places that may not have a specific ghost story, we're going to go ahead and just throw in some things that we read that people have reported experiencing in some of these places. So, for those of you who are interested in some of the history of hot springs or may not know some of the history of some of the places in hot springs, I guess it's more specifically places than hot springs itself, but um, that's what this little case is about. So, hope you stick around and I hope you enjoy it. We're going to start off with the Ohio Club. Yeah. So, obviously, the Ohio Club is located in Hot Springs, Arkansas. It is the entire state's oldest bar, and it is reported to be haunted by a variety of spirits linked to its long history as a casino, speakeasy, and a gangster hideout. So, for those of you who don't know, that's one of the other things Hot Springs is really well known for. Um, Not only does it have one of the state's only casinos, but also huge gangster activity back in the day. So the Ohio Club began over 100 years ago, and it was founded by former owners John Coffey Williams and Sam Watt. It began as a bar and casino. However, because gambling was outlawed in Arkansas in 1913, it became known as the Ohio Cigar Store. Despite the name, the store was actually a front with a fake wall.
Those are pretty cool.
Because who's gonna, I mean, you're not gonna just stop doing what you've always done just because a law is passed.
Yeah, I mean, probably should though.
I mean,
There.
maybe, depending on.
Now you probably should.
So you may be wondering what was behind that fake wall. Behind the wall, there was an upstairs area with another bar and casino. Eventually, Arkansas attorney Sid McMath closed all gambling houses in the Hot Springs area in about 1946. So, they got away with it from 1913 to 1946. That's pretty, got away with it for a pretty long time.
Yeah.
So when he did that, he stopped business at the Ohio Club for about 2 years. In 1948, when McMath was elected governor, his old colleagues were voted out of Hot Springs local government, and the gambling and gaming resumed at the club. They couldn't wait.
Mhm.
They said opportunity. Um, as time went on, the gambling front turned into a restaurant and a bar. At the time that I was doing this information, it says it was currently owned by Sadiq and Jeannie Mir, MIR, who also operate some of the Ohio Club's neighbors, such as J&S Italian Villa and Copper Penny Pub. So I don't. For those who have never been to Hot Springs, it's very much still set up like an old school town. You have pretty much all of your little mom and pop stores running all the way down the main drag. It's really cool, really awesome place to visit.
Yeah.
So the Ohio Club became home to not only famous gang members, but some major baseball legends like
Mhm.
And he pretty much frequented that club on a regular basis, which is really cool, actually. Val and I had the pleasure of, when we did take our trip to Hot Springs, we actually ate at the Ohio Club. Incredible food, great waiter. We had, I don't remember, Travis, I think was his name. I don't know, but he was awesome. He was really, really knowledgeable about the history of the club. And anyways, so back to my little fun facts here. So Hot Springs, Arkansas became kind of a home plate for several gang members and a resting place they all found as their home. It was the Ohio Club. Gang members such as Al Capone, Bugsy Siegel,
Yeah.
and Oni Madden were all visitors of the club. News about the bar and restaurant was quickly spread, especially since it became so popular with crime. On May 14th, 1923, downtown Hot Springs faced a pretty catastrophic flood. Um, it destroyed several structures and made a mess of the town. And due to that, uh, the location of the buildings in the intersecting valleys and the floodplain that they were built on, the water of the flood stormed through the roads, which caused cars to be violently tossed against each other and to be thrown into other buildings and ultimately destroyed a lot of those buildings. Um, However, a lot of those buildings were restored and put back together. So that was just like a brief history, nowhere near the full history of this club. This club, like I said, the oldest in the state, so lots of history to this club. I was just giving you a brief one to try to segue and lead into the reported ghosts and spirits in the club. So, reportedly, there is the little boy. He's one of the most frequently cited spirits. He's said to be one of four people who died at the location decades ago. I don't really know who he is. There are also reports of shadow figures, dark human-like silhouettes that tend to cross around like the exit points when people try to leave, almost like they're trying to get them to stay. And given its history as a favorite spot for notorious figures like Al Capone, Bugsy Siegel, and Lucky Luciano, local folklore suggests spirits of some infamous monsters still roam the building. You decide which ones that may or may not be.
I'm gonna say it's Al Capone. He's gotta be there.
Yeah,
And Bugsy.
yeah, maybe. Maybe. Then there is a report of a ghost named Ollie. Some staff and local paranormal experts have referred to a playful spirit named Ollie who's said to quote unquote hang out at the bar during the day. And then there's the man in the hat. A visitor once reported seeing a photographic profile of a man wearing a hat hovering in midair inside the bar.
That's cool.
And then there's other common paranormal experiences that have been reported, like sounds of mysterious music playing, glasses clinking, and door slamming when no one is in there. There's reports of people being brushed up against by an unseen presence or feeling as though the stories are in the walls, which you kind of do feel like the stories are in the walls in that place just naturally because you can tell how old it is. Like you just get a sense in that atmosphere. Um, and then there's been other reports of closed doors flinging open or pool balls rolling across the tables on their own. So a lot of these stories were shared by the staff. Um, so, you would know. Probably they would probably have the most experiences because they're in it the most. So
Well, that waiter.
yeah, he told us about a ghost that they referred to as Bart that he said likes to give special attention to the customers and is playful as well. So a little special mention for Bart because he was specially mentioned to us when we were there.
Hi, Bart.
So, but again, really cool place, really great atmosphere, great staff. Food was incredible. Highly recommended. If you haven't gone, I highly recommend. That is the Ohio Club. Now we're going to move on to
The Fordyce bathhouse. Okay, so I'm gonna pre-warn anybody. I'm sure if you listen or if you listen to our podcast, I have pronunciation issues sometimes, and So yeah, please bear with me.
I would just like to let it also be known that when we decided we were going to do this, we picked 4 of our favorite locations so that it would be an even split. I let her pick which 2 she wanted to do. Okay. So
No,
she picked this.
that this was gonna be like this. So bear with me. Okay,
She did this to herself.
it's all right. We'll get through this together.
Yeah. Maybe laughing along the way, but we'll get
Yeah.
there.
Okay, so the Fordyce bathhouse is the most elaborate and was the most expensive of the bathhouses. The cost, including fixtures and furniture, being $212,749.55 in 1914 and 1915, which today would be $6,883,501.16.
Very specific conversion.
But it's just a lot of money for
That's a lot
back
of
in the
money. It
day.
was yeah, but if you've been there, I'm pretty sure all of those houses. Okay, so this house is on what they call Bath Row, because it's a bunch of these bathhouses lined up together. Um, I'm sure they all cost quite a bit to make because they're all very well architectured and they're all very beautiful, very intentional with the way they were designed and made. Sorry.
Now it was closed on June 29th, 1962. The first of the row establishments to fall victim to the decline in popularity of therapeutic bathing. The Fordyce Bathhouse has served as the park visitor center ever since 1989. So let's get into a little bit of the history and the what do you want to call it? Structure and all that good stuff. What?
You like prepare preparation. Danger ahead.
Okay, so the bathhouse was built in 1914 and 1915, designed by George Mann and Eugene John Stern of Little Rock, Arkansas. Surpassing elegance was intentional, as Samuel W. Fordyce waited to observe the Maurice's construction to find out if he could build a more attractive and convenient facility. It was built as a testimonial to the healing waters to which Mr. Fordyce believed he owed his life. It represents the golden age of bathing in America, the pinnacle of the American bathing industry's efforts to create a spa rivaling those of Europe. The Fordyce offered all the treatments available in other houses. The Fordyce provided for the well-being of the whole patron, the body, the mind, and the spirit. It offered a museum where prehistoric Native American relics were displayed, bowling lanes and billiard room for recreation, a gymnasium for exercise, a roof garden for clean air and sun, and a variety of assembly rooms and staterooms for conversation and reading. In style, the building is primarily a Renaissance revival structure with both Spanish and Italian elements. The building is a three-story structure of brick construction with a decorative cream-colored brick facing the terracotta detailing. The foundation and porch are constructed of Batesville limestone, right out of Arkansas. On the upper two stories, the brickwork is patterned in a lozenge design. The first floor exterior of the front elevation to the west is finished with rusticated terracotta, shaped to look like ashlar stone masonry. The remainder of the first floor is finished with glazed brick, a marquee of stained glass, and copper with a parapet of green Greek design moffett overhangs the open entrance porch. Gosh, I could not get that out for nothing. Now, the north and south end walls have hopefully I said this correctly, a curvilinear parapet of Spanish extraction. Now, the side walls have highly decorative terracotta windows on the first floor. On the front elevation, the fenestration defines the 7 bays of the structure and provides the architectural heresy typical of Renaissance Revival style building. The windows on the first floor are of simple rectangular design. Those on the second floor are paired 6 light casements with an elaborate terracotta molding that continues up around the arched window/door openings of the third floor. The arches of those openings are incorporated into the terracotta frieze that elegantly finishes the top of the wall directly below the cornice. Now, visible portions of the roof are hipped, covered with decorative tile. Hidden portions of the roof are flat, with the exception of the large skylights constructed of metal frames and wire glass. The first floor contains the marble-walled lobby, flanked by terracotta fountains, which have stained glass clear-story windows and ceramic tile flooring. In the vicinity of the lobby desk are a check room, attendant dispatch room, and elevators. The north and central portions of the building house the men's facilities, which is the cooling room, the pack room, steam room, hydrotherapy room, and bath hall. The women's facilities, considerably smaller in size, are at the south end of the building. Originally, there was a 30 tub capacity. Although the men's and women's bath halls both have stained glass windows and aquatic moffats, the most impressive stained glass is the massive skylight in the men's area with the, hopefully this is correctly, the Soto fountain centered on the floor directly below it. The second floor originally had dressing rooms, lockers, cooling rooms, and massage and mechanotherapy departments. Now it is largely occupied by wood changing stalls, with entry to a centrally located quarry tile yard for sunbathing. The third floor houses a massive ceramic tiled Hubbard Current therapeutic tub, a full body immersion whirlpool, and installed in 1938 when the other hydrotherapeutic pools were also added. Okay, so areas for men's and women's parlors and a wood paneled gymnasium to the rear. The most impressive space on the third floor is the assembly room, now the museum, where the segmentally arched vaults of the ceiling are filled with arched stained glass skylights. Arched wood frame doors surrounded by fan lights and side lights open out to the small balconies on the front elevation. The basement houses various mechanical equipment like a bowling alley, which has since been removed, and the Fordyce Spring, a glazed tile room with an arched ceiling and a plate glass window covering over the natural hot spring. Spring number 46. So, Colonel, I knew you were gonna do that. Samuel W. Fordyce.
I laugh.
Dun, 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 dun.
The word.
Okay.
Also, I would like to say, just for anybody that may or may not have caught it, I'm very proud of you for getting through that. So far, you've done a great job. However, it's motifs, not
Yeah,
words.
yeah, I know. That's the letters I completely messed up. Yeah, but I was like, I'm just gonna go. But
Moffats.
Muffets,
Motifs.
So, see, I almost did it. You know,
You only messed up on one word. Good job.
and whenever you left, it kind of made me feel like I messed up on hydrotherapeutic pool. And I was like,
No, I was laughing because I just seen Colonel Samuel,
oh.
and I was like, oh, the word.
But anyway, Colonel Samuel W. Fordyce was an important figure in the history of Hot Springs. Soldier, entrepreneur, and community leader. After experiencing the curative powers of the thermal waters in treating a Civil War injury, he moved to Hot Springs and was involved in numerous businesses, including the Arlington and Eastman hotels, several bathhouses, a theater, the horse car line, and utilities. Fordyce had a hand in virtually every development which shaped the community and Bathhouse Row from the 1870s to the 1920s. So you may wonder, is this place actually haunted? There's no real, official documentation saying it is. But, some local legends and some visitors, will say that there's cold spots, they've seen shadow figures, and eerie feelings inside. Some believe that former patients or workers may still be there because of the building's long history of, illness, healing, things like that. Now, some skeptics even say that the place can feel unsettling because of the old equipment, child room silence. Can be kind of creepy, I guess.
There's definitely a creepy. There's definitely an eerie. I wouldn't say creepy, but like an eerie feeling about the. It's like cold. It's like a. I don't know how to explain it. There's an eeriness to it. I would agree.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially whenever you get to the room where it's got the what were they? Were they like slide
Oh
into
yeah, the
the
steam tables where they you
yeah,
sit
like
in
just your
there and
neck?
yeah, they like close the metal thing around
Yeah,
just
like
your neck and then they like steam
yeah, I didn't like
the
that.
rest of you.
So see, they
It's
were like,
literally like you look inside of it and it's literally like they put like a little tiny bench in there and there's just a bunch of bulbs. So like they would
yeah,
set you on the bench and then they would close that to hold the heat in and then they would just turn on these high voltage bulbs.
um, mm. But I mean, it's is like I said, they it's not really known if it's really haunted or if it's not. I mean, people have their own experiences, their own opinions, that type of thing. So if you want to go find out for yourself, maybe you might have an experience. You never know. It's possible. I mean, because I'm sure there's ghosts floating around all over Hot Springs. They might come in and be like, "Hey, go to the next building."
I'm lost.
Maybe.
But it is a really, really, really awesome place. Again, the stained glass is
Yeah,
beautiful. Everything is maintained in its original state to the best of their ability. Um, it's
it was
free.
beautiful place.
It's you can't beat it. If you're in the area, you can't not go look at it. Like it's really rad, and the history behind it, and just the medical knowledge, or lack thereof, that they had at that time is just fascinating. So I definitely recommend. You want to check it out, and the talent for get through that.
I do want to mention that if you haven't listened to us or you don't know why we were laughing at Colonel, it's because one of my cases, I said colonial.
He Googled. She did the Google Translate or whatever, because anytime she can't pronounce a word, she Google translates it, and she just trusts Google with all of her little being.
Yeah,
And Google told her it was pronounced colonel.
colonial, wasn't it? Colonial.
Maybe colonel,
Yeah, but
colonial.
it wasn't
I don't
right.
remember,
But
but
she like laughed so hard. I don't remember exactly which episode it was, but anyway, that way you're like, if you're wondering why if we're
why
laughing
that
so
was
much, yeah,
funny.
that's why. 'Cause I can't pronounce
We
things
had a little
sometimes.
mishap with that word quite a few episodes back. All right, so moving on to our next place, which is the Rehabilitated Army and Navy Hospital. So this hospital is located kind of on a walking trail. You kind of have to like really look for it. But it is very popular. It is very well known. Um, so obviously we're in Hot Springs. The hospital is the first general hospital in the nation that provided treatment to both Army and Navy patients. So this was not just a one unit of the military hospital. It served many of them. The dream of the Army Navy Hospital came to be during a dinner party in the Palace Bathhouse in 1882, where Senator John Logan declared Hot Springs to be a quote, an ideal location for an institution of this character, end quote, and promised to introduce legislation for an appropriation upon his return to Washington, D.C. The Army Navy Hospital opened to patients in January of 1887 and was led by the Secretary of War, but control was handed off to the U.S. Army in 1957. In the early 1930s, the original building was replaced with a brick mortar and steel facility with 412 beds. It cost a mere 1.5 million, which would equal nearly 15 million in today's market. Um, During World War II, the hospital was at its peak business, having become the Army's leading medical facility in the country for treating patients with arthritis.
Oh, yeah.
You couple that with the bathhouses, So you get your treatment, and then you have your rehabilitation therapy with the bathhouses. So that was like a win-win. Great location. So even after the close of the war, the hospital continued to grow, serving more than 100,000 veterans by 1945.
Wow.
In 1960, the hospital became a rehabilitation center and was run by the state of Arkansas. Uh, and it continues to serve as one of the most interesting historical landmarks in the state.
You can't get in it though.
You can't get in it though.
Oh.
So we're about to get to that. So the abandoned Army Navy Hospital, it is widely considered haunted. There's been reports of ghostly moans, apparitions, and a feeling of being watched. Um, the hospital it has an extended history with treating military patients, so
Right.
a lot of people didn't make it out of the
Yeah,
hospital.
I'm sure there was a lot that didn't make it.
It has really long, dark, like she said, you can't get into it now, but if you could, you would see that it has long, dark corridors. And I mean, again, it's associated with some pretty tragic injuries that kind of contribute to the reputation of hauntedness. Um, Visitors and urban explorers have reported hearing moaning and groaning, feeling intense eeriness, and experiencing the sensation of being watched. You have the basement slash morgue, specifically the basement area, which housed the morgue during its time as military hospital, is often spotted as a hot spot for activity, as one would think. Some have reported seeing figures or shadows of people in the windows looking at the building from the outside. You can kind of see it. We were looking at the building, and you could just see stacks and stacks of linen through some of the windows. Of course, a lot of the windows are broken now, but I could definitely see how people looking into those windows would see something creepy.
Yeah.
In the make of the window. Um, let's see if we have any kind of connected lore to it. It's kind of referred to as this city's spookiest location. Again, I can kind of see why. It's abandoned. It's kind of dilapidating. It's there's a creepiness to it.
Yeah.
There's definitely a creepiness to it. Um, as far as its current status, the building is currently abandoned and secured with security guards and cameras on site, and it is privately owned. But it's in a complex of legal state between state and federal oversight, so it's kind of like in between.
Like a limbo.
Yeah, it's like in a limbo state. It is considered a dangerous site to explore due to potential hazards, including asbestos and structural issues. So don't be trying to sneak up in there. Don't do it. It's tempting because if you're there, we know because it was tempting to us too. If you're there, it seems very easy to get in.
Yeah.
But don't.
No, don't do that.
So, visitors and tour guides reported seeing the figure of a woman in an old style nurse's uniform walking the halls or standing at the end of the corridors. This place used to be, they used to do ghost tours in it. So, some of the reports are from old staff, some of them are from old patients, but a lot of the reports are from people who were fortunate enough before they completely shut it down to be able to take these ghost tours. Um, but as far as this woman, she's often described as calm but sorrowful. And another report that you get is indistinct voices, crying, groans coming from empty rooms. EVPs have been captured. Um, you've got multiple witnesses describing footsteps pacing above or behind them, doors that open and close on their own, small items displaced after visits, shadowy silhouettes moving at the edge of vision, and sudden localized drops in temperature. Then you have people claiming fleeting smells of antiseptic, surgical alcohol, or old medicines where no source exists, plus sounds like distant trolley or medical machinery. Um, then you have Paranormal teams who've gone in to investigate it have reported rapid battery draining, cameras glitching, recorders failing in specific rooms. We've had something similar to that happen when we tried to do a tour of, well, not a tour, we stayed at the Crescent Hotel. And she stayed in Theodora's room, and we had some pretty similar things happen with recordings not working and cameras glitching and batteries draining. And uh, so that is what I have for you on the old Army Navy Hospital in Hot Springs.
It was definitely pretty cool to see.
Yeah, if you haven't gone, like I know you can't get inside, so you're probably like, well, what's the point? But even like just outside seeing it, it's worth the visit. It's worth the walk. It's worth going to see.
For sure.
Okay, back to you.
So the last one, or the last area place we are going to talk about is the Arlington Hotel.
Probably one of the most known places in Hot Springs.
I'm going to assume, because before I went to Hot Springs, the only time I ever heard of it was whenever y'all went. You were telling me about it.
Yeah, my husband and I actually stayed at the Arlington, like 4 or 5 months ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, we got to stay at it. It's a beautiful hotel. Beautiful hotel. Highly recommend it. We very much enjoyed it.
We will one day.
It's a fantastic hotel. I definitely 5 stars. Perfect for me. It's my kind of hotel. Anyway.
But it is widely considered one of the most haunted locations in America, with reports of paranormal activity ranging from spectral sightings to unexplained scents. Much of this reputation is tied to its long history, including a devastating fire in 1923. And it's passed as a favorite destination for famous figures like Al Capone.
Infamous.
What did I say? Infamous?
You said infamous.
Oh, I meant infamous. I know what it meant. I meant infamous. I try to do it again. Infamous. Infamous. See? Words. I got excited. I'm like, yeah, Al Capone. Anyway, so some of the notable haunted rooms in the hotel include room 443. Guests have often reported the distinct smell of fresh cigar smoke, and this is a non-smoking hotel room, which I think
the whole thing is now.
I think most hotels now you can't. Unless it's at a casino, I think you could smoke in that.
Yeah. Okay, so casinos, most of them now have like a separated area of the casino that's like specifically for like the smoking. It's part of the casino. So they very much now keep that separated. So you have your non-smoking part of the casino, and then you have your smoking.
It's been a minute since I've been
to most of them.
Let's see. Some also have witnessed the connecting doorknob turn on its own, despite there being no doorknob on the opposite side of the door. Let's see. So that room, I don't even think I said what room number I was talking about.
I said the room number, but you didn't say the other part.
Oh, okay. So that's actually the Al Capone suite. Sorry, I got distracted. The next room is 824. This room is known for significant electrical disturbances, such as lights in the bathroom faucets turning on and off by themselves. Some guests have even reported items and luggage being moved by unseen forces. The next room is 723. This area is on the 7th floor, is famous for sightings of a lady in a white gown.
You didn't think we were going to get out of this episode without a lady in white, did you?
Oh.
No.
Now, one instance, guests photographed what appeared to be 2 glowing footprints on the carpet in front of this room. Which I think, if I'm not mistaken, they said something about that happening in the Crescent too. There's like footprints that you could distinctly see. All right, so the frequently reported spirits. First, we're going to talk about is the woman in white. And one of the hotel's most famous ghosts, she is often seen wandering the upper floor hallways, particularly on the 7th floor. She is sometimes described as a sorrowful bride or a former guest who met a tragic end. Now, the ghostly bellman. A spirit in a full uniform is frequently spotted on the fourth floor, often seen near the elevators. Guests report the elevator occasionally stopping on the fourth floor for no reason, only to open to an empty hallway.
That does happen. I think that happened to us.
Oh, well, that'd be kind of interesting.
I didn't associate it with anything other than somebody might have pushed the button and then went back to their room or something.
Yeah.
That's all I thought.
There's also a young girl, that's wearing a pink dress, is sometimes seen appearing and then quickly vanishing in the hotel lobby. The spectral soldier, which is a man resembling a soldier, has been reported taking a bath in the men's side of the hotel's historic bathhouse. And there's also a man in a black suit that has been seen in the laundry area, sometimes waving at employees before disappearing. Now, some reports are like disembodied sounds, like footsteps echoing in the hallway, whispered conversations, faint laughter near the elevators. The piano in the lobby bar has been known to play by itself after midnight. And there are like manifestations that people have seen. Reports include like wine glasses sliding or jumping off the shelves, and extreme drops in temperature in specific rooms. Oh, spooky, ooky, ooky.
Yeah. I can tell you that that hotel is definitely a hot spot for sure. You can feel it in the air.
And we're definitely gonna go there like we did the Crescent, and leave the quarter on all night, and then go and just check out the quarters, like when nobody's up or when I don't know. They seem pretty busy, so there might be people always up. But anyway, we'll see what we catch, if anything.
Yeah, worth a shot. But okay, that's our quick rundown of our personal favorite places that are reportedly haunted
In the hot
in the
springs.
hot springs. I will do a special mention as well to Josephine Madame Trudeau's Wax Museum
Oh yeah.
because we're going to attach a picture to that we got. Now, I could not find anything about this place being haunted at all. Like, I mean, there's people who say things like, "Oh, it's eerie if you're by yourself."
I can see that.
Obviously, you get cold spots here and there. Just the creepiness of the figures themselves, things like that. But as far as a specific haunting there, I couldn't find anything on that or about that. But this wax museum has been there for a very long time. It has over 100 exhibits. It's definitely worth going if you've never been. I highly recommend it. But I mention that just because I am going to ask her to attach a picture that she has on her phone that she took in that wax museum um, because it creeped me the hell out, and it's kind of hard to creep me out. So it's hard to creep me out in pictures. But other than that, that's been our case for Hot Springs. If you haven't been, definitely recommend it. Those are some of our favorite places. You should definitely go visit all of those places. Stay at the Arlington. Have lunch at the Ohio Club. Hike over to the Army Hospital. Go on Bath Road. Check out the Fordyce Bathhouse.
Check out all the local shops and stuff.
Yeah,
Those are pretty cool.
I know. I just planned your whole day,
Yeah.
and I gave you a place to rest. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.